I've been thinking about user today.
Right?
We
I
talked.
know, right? I
Yeah,
thought he wasn't going live today. What
I
happened?
know. Well, me? Yeah,
Yes.
I'll be here for like another 30 minutes, and then I'll call it a day.
Well, I hope he comes in here.
You're just getting rolling. Yeah, he's part of the reason that I came on. I don't know if it'll happen or not, but I'm gonna try to come on. I just don't know what to do, how I could be most helpful.
Did you share the live to him?
Oh no.
Well, you gotta do that.
No, do you? He'll find me.
You gotta share it out.
I don't ever share it out.
Yeah, because sometimes it doesn't show up on the FYP, especially since you encourage people not to like your lives.
I do. I do encourage people to just relax with the only because I've just done the tapping thing. It's exhausting, but I want to show my support.
That's only because you embrace the old. You can't embrace it, okay? You
I
have to
can.
stay young.
I can't do it. I I understand like sharing it and tapping it. Tapping it doesn't give you any money. It just moves it up the board or something.
It makes your live visible to more people.
Oh, that's okay. Maybe I need to do that more.
Who that?
I love that somebody made a tapping machine.
Yeah, that's
Rapid
what you need to get for your old hands.
for my old hands. not, it's not that my arthritic hands hurt. It's just that I'm too tired to be tapping all the time. I just want to. Most of the
I
time I come
know.
in, I just like lay back and listen to whatever.
I'm making fun of you because you always say that you're old
I
in
know
your
I am
name.
old. I was just on somebody else's live. Oh man, it was interesting.
Uh oh.
Yeah. Do you did we talk about Good Trouble already? You know Good Trouble? Have you seen him
Uh
ever?
huh. Uh huh.
And I told you that like the night after I was first on yours, I was watching him and I requested up and he took me up
Hmm.
and we talked for an hour. It was a crazy experience.
Oh, that's good.
And then later that night, there was another guy that got on, but he was really conservative. And he said a few things that I thought about because that's what I do. After I learn from being on here, then I end up thinking about it the next day. Like our friend Doreen.
Your friend.
No, here's my thing, or I guess my question. In the first time that I was in your live, and she came in, um, she was like I thought, making progress in the right direction. Like I think the conversation with you and the other people on the panel, she was starting to like maybe see the light or
I don't think it was my live. It may have been.
no, it was definitely your live with society and oh, you don't think you were the host?
No, I met her in Viper Vets live,
Oh,
and
that's
then.
right. That's right. You were up top. You were in the top left corner.
Hmm.
I don't forget. I forget whose live it was.
Yeah, it was in Society's live. Because Society still invites her up. I don't. Like I said, I don't claim her.
You
Mm-mm.
don't claim.
No.
So my question for you is: I understand why you don't. So I don't. I don't. I'm not questioning that. But is there any room for somebody who let's say I was like super conservative, and after a conversation or two with you, I started to change the way I was thinking a little bit. Don't you think that conversations could continue to have me shift, or do you feel like
It depends. It depends because if they don't, just like you were talking about um, alcoholism last night, you have to admit that you have a problem. So you have to either admit that you're racist, you have internalized racism, or in Doreen's case, self hate. And
You
I
think
feel
that's
like
what
if
you
you
think
can't,
that's what it was for her?
oh, I know that's what it was for her.
Do you think there's um, any way to come back or come around?
No.
You don't. You think like it seems like,
So
and I'm
for
not good at
people like
this.
Doreen, this is this is the reason why I'm saying this about her because she's in my community. The only way they will learn their lesson is by shutting them out, inviting them up like society does in black spaces is giving them a pass, so they'll most likely do it again. You know what I mean? Like if you heard the comments that she was making about Kamala Harris, you would understand the reason why I said we don't claim her. There's some people, some black people that voted for Trump, that could be redeemable because they were just uneducated. But Doreen talked about Kamala Harris in such a hateful white nationalist way. The only way she can come back from that is by shutting her out.
But do you think? I mean, do you think she was just because from I hear you, and I don't disagree. And you know, obviously, I don't know anything about the black community or how they kind of responded. What do you think Mr. Society's logic is in continuing to give her space?
He just doesn't care, in my opinion. Um, the same way that a lot of us do, but that's because I mean I'm a political
Yeah.
TikToker. You know, society. I from what I've seen so far, he normally just does his live just to chill. You know, um. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not good at identifying um, if someone is redeemable or not. If that makes any sense. Like you seem to have a good antenna up to be to like say that person's not changed and they're not coming around. I felt like she was coming around even in the half an hour that I was kind of listening to her, and I didn't say much, even though I think I was on the panel for a little bit, but I was listening before I came up, and I think I was listening after I came up, and I felt like she was making some progress.
The way that I could tell is because she went from Viber Vets Live, she got chewed out in there by people in our community. So you would have thought that she would have learned her lesson by like just from that. No, she went on another panel and repeated the same exact thing she said. Then she joined Society's Live and started laughing and having a good time. So now she's invited back to his live whenever she requests up. So what did she learn? She didn't learn anything.
But I think she might, and I could be, and I'm probably wrong, but I think she like in another however many months because like, I don't know, maybe not, maybe I'm wrong.
So the
Yeah.
comments you have to gauge it by the comments that they make, right? Like if it was any other person, my qualifying question would be, how do you feel about this whole CK situation? Do you think that do you think that he lived his life the right way? How do you think his messaging was? And if they have no problem with it at all, if they have good things to say about him, that is a good place to start. Like you just have to know where their heart is, regardless of what they say out of their mouth. It starts with their morals. What do you actually believe? And this is just how people like me interact with everybody that doesn't look like me.
Yeah. You know, one thing I appreciate so much about you, Princess, is that you seem to be like intentionally looking to learn. Like you go on to the doctor's live, or I'll see, because when I come on, there's like red circles. There's like five red circles in the top of people that are live, And I can't tell when I see a circle with you in it and then a circle behind you. I can't tell if it's your live or if you're in someone else's live. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Apart from tapping on it,
Mm-hmm.
there's no way to tell, right?
No, not really. I used to think the person in the front is the host, and then the guest is the one in the back, but I don't know. I still haven't figured that out myself either because if you're friends with both people,
Who
you just
goes in,
don't know.
who goes in the front? Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So I've seen you kind of. I assume just like learning from Dr. Keisha. Is that her name?
Mm-hmm.
She's sharp. I've listened to her a few times. I've never tried to like request up with her. I've probably spent an hour on like 20 minutes on 3 different occasions, kind of listening to her and just getting some education.
Mm-hmm. Hold on one second.
Mm-mm-mm. So I have need encouragement. I don't know if that's a good one. I have questions about hospice because that's the one area that I know about. Or I have this one. Teach me something. Or ask about hospice, grief, Christian nationalism, or our church.
That's a good one,
Or,
especially the Christian nationalism.
or let's talk about addiction. But
I think
that
the
sort of makes
one you had before is good.
this one.
Yeah, I think that's more relevant to the recent things people are seeing in the news.
Yeah, that's where my heart is.
Yep, someone is requesting up.
Oh dear, I don't know how to do that. Well, whatevs. Whatevs. Here's how you know I'm old, Princess. I can't read that whatevs. I have to like try to.
Yeah, I'm 47, so I gotta hold my phone really far away from my face.
Even then, I can't see it. I think I can. Whatevs.
You
I'm
got it
40.
right.
I'm 43. Whatevs. But my eyes are going quick.
Oh my
I
God. He's
I
43
have
going on 80.
It's true.
I happened to be floating by and saw that where it said the Christian nationalism,
Oh yeah.
and I'll, I'd like to maybe have a quick conversation about the demonizing of Christian nationalism.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
mean, our country was founded on Judeo-Christian beliefs. We're a Christ-centered nation for a long time,
No, we're not.
although we have failed miserably in our attempt, to act holier than thou to the rest of the world. But still, even when we're being our worst, I feel like it's a largely Christian country is a mostly peaceful one.
Can I ask you a question? Whatevs.
Sure.
In your opinion, do you think we were founded as a Christian country, or do you think we were founded as a country in which you are free to practice whatever religion you'd like?
That is absolutely true. Except, I mean, that was put into the founding of it.
What was?
Freedom of religion.
So, do you think we were founded as a country in which you are free to practice whatever religion you want, or do you think we were founded as a
Yes.
Christian country?
We were founded by Christians, but you are free to practice whatever religion you choose.
Let me ask you a question.
Do you
What
think
else?
that sounds? Do you
Were the
think that's?
founding fathers were the founding fathers Christians?
Well, I'd like to believe that they were,
They weren't.
except there's I guess there's a lot of things about the Freemasons that I probably am not privy to. Like they might have been superficially Christian.
They weren't.
Okay, but I
No,
don't
so
know because I'm not
like
like a 33rd degree Mason.
you're fine. I mean, my dad is anyway. So, do you know what they were running from?
Um, no, but I've had some pretty good conversations about them being responsible for repressing the feminine. I if that's a thing, I don't really know much about it, but apparently there was esoteric and Gnostic information that's been suppressed for thousands of years, or at least 1,500 years, about the feminine.
But what do you mean by the feminine?
Like it's mostly a male, um, male oriented religion, Christianity.
Okay,
Well,
so the
okay.
founding fathers were running from their deities. So they that's the reason why they put freedom of religion in there. So it's actually not true that this country was founded on Christianity.
Can you explain a little further?
I can if you have questions.
Okay. If not, if they weren't outwardly, they were outwardly Christian, and even if it was superficial for the benefit of mankind or just men in general, what would be the thing that they're hiding or running from?
Let me weigh in, Princess. Unless you want to take that one.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Um, we could get into like Thomas Jefferson was something called a deist. Um, we could kind of go like through the founding fathers, but I'd rather skip that and just agree.
I know what deism is. I know what Gnosticism is.
Yeah, but we would at least agree. I think we agree that the founding fathers made pretty clear that in the states you are free to practice whatever religion you'd like. Do you agree with that? Whatevs.
Oh, absolutely.
So that is because of that I think Christian nationalism, well, among other things, but that is not compatible with Christian nationalism. Christian nationalism is the idea that we should make Christianity like the nation's religion. So you would not be, no longer presumably be permitted to practice other religions. So Christian nationalism, I think, goes pretty hard against.
Well, I mean, of course, so does Islam, but I don't see any Christians out there demanding that any other religious group stop or give it up or ban it. I mean, aside from the Westboro Baptist Church, who most Christians completely disown, um, I don't see any movements at all to take away anyone else's religious freedom.
Have you
And
heard
that's
of
one of the
Doug?
genius things that they did was separate church and state.
Have
Hey,
you heard
what?
of Doug Wilson? Have you heard the name Doug Wilson at all, or no? Whatever. Just out of curiosity.
No.
Okay. Brandy, you got some thoughts?
Yes.
Uh,
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Princess, and hi, Brandy, and hi, whatevs.
I know Princess. I know my boy over
Uh-oh.
here. Whatevs, he's new. Hey, whatevs. Oh, he's muted. Okay.
Hi, good evening. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
No, I muted because I can hear my own echo, and I know it's bothering to people.
Okay, I apologize. Um, so the thing I want to say, whatevs, is if if it was okay to get everybody else's opinion, why did the Southern Baptist Convention purge their seminaries?
Uh, if we're talking about the kind of Southern Baptist like the Westboro Baptist Church,
Oh
I,
no, they're more extreme. So the Southern
yeah.
Baptist Convention is like your typical like Southern Baptist church, the ones you normally see on the corner. They all belong to what is called the cooperative program, and they give to the cooperative program, and that money goes into their missions, it goes into their colleges. Like it's a pretty well-oiled machine, and they have their own colleges, they have their own seminaries, and they get to pick and choose what is taught. But what happened is that they used to rub shoulders with both progressive um, theologians and historians and stuff like that. But after colleges were desegregated in the 70s, the the Southern Baptists moved to purge their seminaries of any type of progressive theologians or historians or things like that. And then they started fast tracking um, Calvinism through their seminaries. So, my question is this: if they respect uh, liberty of conscience, if they respect everybody's opinions and things like that, then why would you purge your seminaries and not allow your students the opportunity to hear other viewpoints besides fundamentalist viewpoints?
Well, I wish I could give you some real intelligent response, although I don't know anything about what you're talking about. Although it doesn't surprise me at all because, I mean, the Mormons do the same thing, the Catholics do the same thing, the uh, uh, who are those guys down in Clearwater, Scientologists. I mean, if you look around, that's pretty much the bread and butter of organized religion. So it doesn't surprise me that I wouldn't agree with it.
Hmm.
Can I ask you a question? If, what is the law of the land?
Um, I think if you boiled it down all the way, it would be, can I eat it or will it eat me?
No, I need like an actual answer. What is the law of the land?
Don't be a dick.
No.
That's a
The
good
law
one.
of the land is the Constitution. Okay. Can you tell me if the Constitution mentions God in it?
You know, I cannot recall where if it does say it or not.
It doesn't. So
Okay.
that's the whole point. So there is no, um, the Constitution does not mention God because we have freedom of religion, right? Could you imagine if you took your children to school and um, they were being taught oh my God, I'm blanking now. My brain is foggy. They were taught the Quran. If every public school had to have a class on the Quran, would you be okay with that?
No, absolutely not. But I went to school in the '80s, and they never taught. Granted, I didn't go to a Christian school. I went to public school, but they never taught the Bible in school.
They're
Um,
trying to.
yeah,
Just
they're trying to.
just so you know, whatever. I'm in Oklahoma, and 2 years ago, our state superintendent of our school systems uh, implemented a rule that every classroom is to have a Bible in it, and the Bible is to be taught in every public school class. My kids are in public school. What do you think about that? Good idea? Bad idea?
I mean, I don't know. It's about as useful as the Bible they put in hotel rooms.
No,
What
it's
it
not just going to be sitting on the teacher's desk like an ornament or a decoration. They're going to use it, which means they're going to read it. And in my opinion, I did go to a Christian school growing up, and I went to a public school for a couple of years. In my opinion, it's not fair. If this is a land of the free, right? That means that we all should have our own rights. And at the same time, if it's okay for them to have Bibles in schools, it should be okay for them to have the Quran and whatever book the Buddhists read from, all other religions. And I say that as a Christian.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I'm a,
If
I'm Christian as well, and Brandy is as well. So it
Hmm.
may sound strange that we are opposed to putting the Bible in public schools. The way that it's usually framed is you'll see people say, "Don't you think the Bible in schools would be a good thing to kind of put a little morality and a little spiritual compass in these troubled kids?" That's kind of how it's packaged. But the reality is, there is a push to make our country a Christian country. And as a Christian, it may seem like I should be on board with that, but I'm pretty opposed, vehemently opposed to that because I don't think it will advance the gospel. I think it will have the opposite effect. I just wanted to say one more to whatevs, just a nugget of information. Brandy mentioned the Southern, but you may know this already because you seem like you're a sharp guy. But Brandy mentioned the Southern Baptist Convention. It's one of the largest, if not the largest, Protestant conventions, religious conventions in this country. And they formed in 1845. The reason that they formed was to have a collective group to oppose the abolition of slavery. So if we're going to have be honest about how our country, how the Christian faction of our country has operated throughout our country's history, it's really bad. Um, Obviously, the Southern Baptist Convention, their formation and the goal of their formation is hopefully something we would all agree was a bad idea. And fortunately, they were not effective. I mean, they were effective, but in the end, they were not able to keep it from happening. But that's why the Southern Baptist Convention came together and formed, was to oppose the abolition of slavery. So
Can I
when you
ask
look
them a
at the,
qualifying question that I was telling you about earlier?
yeah, go ahead.
Speaking of slavery, whatevs, do you believe that me or people that look like me, do you believe that we're three-fourths of a human?
well, is that your picture on your profile?
Yes.
Um, Absolutely not. But it appears that you probably get offered 3 out of 4 drinks when you're at the bar
I don't know what that has to do with anything, but
because you're pretty.
I'm just asking because that's what a lot of Christian nationalists believe.
Yeah, well,
They're,
those people, they're yeah, they're awful.
but I'm just saying that's who they are. That's what they believe in.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. I'm sure glad I never ran into these Southern Baptist people.
Well, maybe have a misunderstanding. It sounded like you were kind of defending Christian nationalists when you first got up here.
I was. I was defending Christian nationalism
Well, I think what you said, to
because
be fair,
it's what it's done for society,
Whose
Nothing
society?
hasn't done
our
anything
society
good.
here.
Okay, so Christian nationalism, let's go with it. That means that Christians are in charge, okay? So when Christians got here, they were Puritans, correct? And what they did was they set up their own little religious town, and inside their little religious towns, they instituted what they call blue codes, meaning that they were policing people's morality, and they had heavy, heavy punishments. On top of that, they burned women to death with the Salem witch trials. They ravaged the indigenous folks. I'm trying to watch my TikTok language here. And then we get into slavery. That's 400 plus years held up by Calvinist doctrine, manifest destiny. Uh, we get into Jim Crow. The Southern Baptists formed their little thing so they don't have to give up slavery. So, and then that doesn't even include African apartheid, imperialism, through the church in England. So I not understand. Anytime that power and religion go together, it always ends up being bad.
Really,
History
really
tells
bad.
us that.
Really bad. I'm curious why whatevs feels. What are the positive elements? What do you think of as a good part of Christian nationalism?
Well, as you know, as far as the way our laws are set up, they mirror the laws of Moses. Not fully, but mostly. And just the big one are unalienable rights that come from God and only God. And if the Constitution mentions it somewhere, it's in the Bill of Rights, I believe, right? That where it would be?
It'd be the Declaration of Independence.
Yes. Yeah, okay. Yeah, two different documents. You're right.
Okay, so you're telling me that
And that's a pretty bold statement.
what I'm saying is, so you're trying to tell me that the Christians have been in charge, right? Because they say that this is a Christian nation. So they have been in charge. Are you trying to tell me that the policies that they have written have benefited every single human being
Oh, hell
in
no.
America?
Oh, hell
Okay.
no.
So if
No, you're not. No, you're not getting me to agree to some fantasy world that I didn't grow up in. No,
okay, but
no.
these are Christians writing these laws,
Right?
right?
Yeah. No, these are men, and men stumble constantly. And if any of the world's religions out there are blameless, please point to it because I'd
But
like to learn more
but
about it.
but Christians say that they are the number one religion, the only way to God, and they say that they are the hands and feet of Jesus and they are his ambassadors, but that's not what the Bible says. The way that you are handling yourself as an ambassador of the kingdom, you not ponying up the Jesus that you say you're supposed to be ponying up
Hey,
because
hey, listen, you're absolutely right. I can't deny that. I do understand that men have been in charge. So, if we're doing such a piss poor job, maybe it's time for the women to be in charge. Let's give it a go.
Oh God, whatevs, whatevs. Listen, I feel like if you went to a Christian nationalist meeting and said these things, they would kick you out. But I don't
Yeah,
I don't
well,
know
that's
why you're
that's
still
kind of why I
defending.
wanted to have the conversation.
Yeah, I
That's what
think
I'm
I'm
not
gonna
a
say.
I'm
I
not a
know
Christian
why.
nationalist, but I think it has done very good for our country so far. So
No,
for
if we're moving
who?
away from that, then
I
so
wouldn't
be it. But I
say.
For
hope it's
what?
replaced by
I wouldn't
something as
say. Hold on,
powerful.
hold on. I wouldn't say that Christian nationalists have done any good for this country. It has not. It's only did good for white men, and that's it. That's the truth. So I know you said that you're not a Christian nationalist, but you came up here defending it.
I'm not white
I
either.
would. Well, that's even more disturbing. So I
What?
would.
I'm Puerto Rican.
Again, that's even more disturbing. It only benefits white men. That's it. So
me.
before you
It
defend
benefits
this,
me.
yes. So before you come up on panels defending it, I wish that you would do more research on it.
I probably should have, but I didn't know I was going to be talking about this 20 minutes ago. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
I
appreciate you. I appreciate
probably
you.
should have.
I appreciate you coming up. Whatever. I think the main thing I would focus on, and Princess or Brandy or Earth, good to see you, Earth. They may know better, but I think the idea,
Earth.
the idea of
Hey, everybody.
the idea of kind of trying to make this country a Christian nation is not a good idea. And I say that as a Christian. I think it's a terrifying idea. And I think that there are powerful people who are trying to make that happen.
Okay, but let's say we are attempting to replace it. Like it's exhausted all of its good fortune that it could bring us, and all of its, making the nuclear family, not killing each other and taking each other's stuff.
Unaliving.
Oh yeah, sorry. So yeah, what would we be replacing it with?
It's not about replacing.
Here's the thing, whatevs. Here's the thing. The thing I would challenge whatevs is we have never been a Christian national. We were not founded on Christian nationalism. We were founded on the idea that you could be practice whatever religion you'd like, or no religion. Earth. I forgot to mention that before. You're free to do whatever you would like as far as religion in this country. That's what makes it so beautiful. Now, you have had Christian nationalism try to take off throughout our country's history, and sometimes it's gotten some traction and made a lot of headway. It's always been bad. But when we talk about if we could just get back to that, or what are we going to replace it with? It's not so much we need to replace Christian nationalism. It's we need to continue to combat Christian nationalism, as we always have since the beginning. Does that make sense?
Let me give you an example, whatevs. Let me give you an example. I'm gonna tell you what my ex best friend just posted a couple days ago. Okay. And she's a Christian nationalist. Of course, we're not friends anymore. But I was best friends with her for a really long time. And I can't believe that I was even friends with her, to be honest with you. But after what happened to CK, she posted, hold on a second.
Not allowed to say his name anymore.
I don't want to say his name. You can if you want to.
No, I thought it might be a TOS thing.
That's what I thought yesterday.
No, his name makes me want to.
Okay, yeah. So that's just a personal thing.
Mm-hmm.
Can I guess what she posted?
You can guess.
Well done, good and faithful servant.
Lord.
Nope. She said, this is what your black posts did. This is what I'm trying to find the actual things that she said, because it's so disturbing. She was like, this is what happens because of BLM. This is what happens because of all these things, right? Just extremely racist. But then she puts in the comments that the person who did this, the CK, should be publicly a fruit from a tree. If you catch my drift. My drift, not drift, goodness.
Well,
that's what she said. And now that it's been out there that the person who did it is a YT male, she's haven't said anything.
It's been fascinating to watch it unfold.
Blame it on us.
Yeah.
Talk about zero self-awareness. Your friend.
I thought
your friend.
I thought.
Yeah, no way I'm using that phrase if when I'm texting my black friends. No, that is awful.
I just thought that anybody that heard that governor speak the way that he spoke about him praying for 30 hours or whatever, that it wasn't, oh, please, don't let it be one of us white Utah Mormon boys. Please, God. And, let it be a brown, let it be a black person, let it be some, buddy from another state, another country, anybody but not no good white Mormon boy, And what they're going to find out.
Honestly, I thought it was going to be a TG.
A TG? What's a TG?
Yeah, I can speak to this.
Trans.
Oh no! Now they're trying to say that he's got a TG. If you have to say TG,
roommate.
He's trying to say that they got he had a boyfriend or whatever. I mean, they want to track it back to that. They want to track it to anybody but themselves. They always got one finger pointed at you, but they forget that all those other fingers are pointed back at themselves. They have been that way. They're so hypocritical. Nancy Mace, when she got up and she spoke her crap, it was just horrendous. Oh, she was saying the any word. I mean, she was like being real nasty, like she always is. But she hates that because obviously they look better than her, and you know they basically she did her 180. Oh well, we got to pray for him. We'll pray for him now. And I'm like, well, they weren't saying that when they thought it was a black or a brown person or somebody else.
Are you
You
talking
know?
about Nancy Mace?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, she's a
Yes.
horrendous.
Oh,
She's
because
a
I can read
horrendous.
exactly what she said. She said, on the 10th, time to bring back the unaliving penalty.
Yep.
And then on the 12th, we know CK would want us to pray for such an evil and
Uh
lost
huh. I
individual
mean,
like Tyler Robinson to
what
find Jesus Christ. We will try to do the same. You
what
see the
kind of
difference, whatever?
hypocritical crap is she? And I mean, that
Well,
woman.
it's been a while since people were talking about her. I think the last time we went too long without talking about Nancy Mace, she accidentally released a video of her with her top off. Remember
Well,
that?
she
Yeah.
supposedly. Now the real thing is let's get back to the Epstein files, which is all what this is really should be about. And she went down the halls acting like she was crying because she had heard all the women in there talking. Well, that lasted what, a day? I mean, that woman. I mean, really, that to me is a white woman of privilege that wants to shove her Christianity around like she's super righteous or something.
I don't think
And
she
it
has any. I think she just picks it up as a weapon from time to time. I don't think she,
has has
yeah.
That
any
is the
more.
true definition of using God's name in vain. What CK did and what they continue to do. And
Yeah.
it's only driving people further away from God, in my
I mean,
opinion.
at least I'm up front about it and say I don't believe in what y'all believe in. At least I tell y'all I'm being honest. You know, I'm not gonna backbite you or nothing. I'm gonna try to have a conversation. And I do think that it's very hard given the climate. I mean, this just makes everybody want to pull away from everybody. And I'm I'm glad I met y'all because it sort of renews my faith in humanity. And it's hard. It's really hard.
Hmm. It is, but this is what in my opinion this was God's vision when it comes down to Christianity, to having conversations and things like that. Because if anybody's going to follow Christ, it's going to be their decision to do so, right? It's not going to happen by condemning them or judging them or telling them where they're going to end up when
Or
they leave
putting
this
them on
life.
a whole bunch of rules.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's not how it works. So I want whatevs. What do you think about what I just said? Like, do you think what CK did with his time here on Earth? Do you think what Nancy Mace continues to put out there, even Trump himself? Do you think that that's drawing people to God or away from Him?
Oh, I, I don't know. That's a very loaded question to answer. I hope that it draws people to a place where they want to, um, explore their spirituality if they don't never had any, and heard Charlie Kirk talking about um, Christ or whatever else. Um, no matter where they go. See, it. I believe in the teachings of Christ, so I follow his teachings because I studied every single prophet, every single cleric. I've looked at all the world's religions, what they believe, why they believe them. I settled on Christ because that's the one that made the most sense to me. But I have friends that like Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha, who was alive 350 years before Christ walked the earth, or Lao Tzu for my Taoist acquaintances. That they, Lao Tzu walked the earth 500 or so years before Christ as well. So wherever you settle, I hope you find that spirituality
Well,
that comes from all of them.
I'm glad that you found Christ yourself. I really am. I'm glad that you made that decision yourself and you weren't pressured into it or anything like that. But I can tell you right now, what CK put out there, demonizing certain groups, saying that black women don't have a certain amount of brain processing power to be effective in certain job roles. That's not going to make a person that doesn't believe in God want to start believing in Him. All he did was say, like, he's a believer in Jesus Christ, and then that hate came out of his mouth. Then the next second,
And I
you know what
think
I'm
I
saying?
think he was
Well, I
very.
don't.
He's he
While
he's
I don't
attaching
agree
he's
with everything,
attaching
yeah, while I don't agree with everything he always said,
right.
I do agree with most of it, and I certainly don't believe he deserved what happened.
So if I'm a new Christian, right, and I meet, Charlie Kirk, and he says, hey, this who God is, yada yada yada. Okay, I'm like, all right, I'm a follow, right? But then Charlie Kirk is also spitting this other gospel along with Jesus, a gospel that says that we can other people, saying that these people, they don't deserve this or don't deserve that,
Well,
or
yes, that's one of
what
the areas I
you're
didn't agree where
right.
he would deny that people have already been othered.
hmm But what I'm saying is, he is not modeling the true gospel. He's not modeling the true Christ. The thing about it is that salvation also goes with the ethics. You have to know what you're walking into. But the thing about it is that they are being given a false gospel. So how can you truly live up to what God has called us to do if you're not actually living as He lived?
And I have a follow up question to that statement. Do you believe in false prophets?
Sure.
So, do you agree when Charlie Kirk said, I can't stand the word empathy? Actually, I think empathy is a made up new age term that it does a lot of damage. Do you think that God has empathy?
Well, Christ certainly showed it.
So, do you agree with Charlie Kirk's quote?
No.
Do you agree when he said, if somebody has had enough? I'm sorry, hold on. Let me, that's not the one I was trying to. Zero people from Gaza should be allowed to come to America, period. Do you agree with that?
The, um, that's yeah. It's not on when you're trying to get into America. That's not a question.
Do you agree?
I'd much rather them be believing in something,
It doesn't
but
matter what they believe in. If they want to come to America, everybody should be able to come to America. That's what makes it great, right?
They're being starved. Like, what is there to talk about?
Like, that's what makes it great, right?
yes.
So, do you agree when he said, if I'm dealing with somebody in customer service who's a moronic black woman, I wonder if she's there because of her excellence or is she there because of affirmative action? Do you agree with that?
Oh, It says my live will end in 4 minutes and
No, I
54
mean,
seconds.
honestly,
It won't. It won't.
I would be wondering. I would be wondering why she wasn't Pakistani or Hindu.
Why? That's not a joke.
Well, it was. I was just making a short one because every time I call a customer service, that's who answers.
So, do you agree with his statement or not?
I'd much rather have a black woman than
So
old Raj.
again, I think that you need to research the things that he said out of his mouth, the things he stood for, before you say you agreed with most of what he said. Because that what I just read you, that's literally most of what he said every time he opened his mouth.
Right. Well, I must not have seen as many things as you had about. He would pop up in my feed. It's not like I went and searched him out. Like I don't have a shirt. I don't. You know what I mean? I wasn't
Yeah.
subscribing to
Can
his
I
stuff,
chime in?
but the things that I saw where he was just talking plainly to people,
Yeah.
especially college kids, it was refreshing because it's like, yeah, this is what y'all need to know when like I when I got out of high school,
Whatever.
I
Let me
no
stop
one
you
even
right there.
taught
Let me
me how to
stop you
do
right there for.
taxes.
Let me stop you right there because I just saw today when he was talking to a college student that was probably 20 years old at the most. He was a young kid, fresh in college. And he told that college kid that he would do better to drop out of college. He would, succeed much better, if he went ahead and just dropped out of college. And that kid stood up and told him, "No, I don't think so." you know? And so, some of the things he said to these college kids, I mean, I would go so far as to say 90% was, a crock. And whether he was talking about Jesus or whatever, you know, it was a crock. And, you know, I believe, well, since you've studied, other religions also, I settled on any but, Christianity. And I believe in as you sow, so shall you reap. And that is what has happened. That's what happens to all of us. As you sow, so shall you reap. So, as a man thinketh, this is from the Bible. As a man thinketh, so they are. Okay.
Yeah, I think Ryan wanted to say something.
No, I want to say hi to Viper Vet. It's
Hi,
good to.
Viper.
Yeah, thanks for jumping in here.
Hey, bud.
And I know now we have um, five of us that are kind of in agreement when it comes to Christian nationalism. So I want to be respectful to whatevs, even though we don't really see eye to eye. I would just encourage you.
Well,
I understand that when you saw clips of him, it was probably stuff like, we should love Jesus and we should get back to our roots of following Christ in this country, and that's, I understand how that sounds
right.
appealing. You
And
didn't get the clips. You didn't get the clips where he talks about some of the other things we've mentioned here.
well, yeah, no, my algorithm
Yeah.
probably wouldn't pick up on stuff like that.
And there's a couple things that you said where, we've kind of presented, this is how he felt about such and such a group of people or such and such an issue. And you felt like, well, I certainly don't agree with that. My concern is that these 17 and 18 year olds,
Especially the one where he kept knocking it down like there was no suppression or intentional destruction by our government and its leaders in the black community, and that there wasn't systemic racism. And although I did agree when he said that anybody's capable to do anything now, and that there's nothing holding you back from trying,
Even that's not true.
the truth is that
No, that's not true.
definitely that's definitely like, you know what I mean, starting a race where you get to run for 10 minutes before they even get to start.
Yeah, so we agreed that that's not true. We
Right.
even now,
I
even in
totally disagree with
2025.
that.
Okay, it sounded like you said you agreed with
But
that.
he never got into the meat and potatoes of it, about how FDR did this, and then Marla Sanger was putting the PP, the P
Exactly.
parent,
So you
parenthood
understand. So you
in the
understand how
yeah.
dangerous
Oh, they're
he
still at it.
was.
They're still at it. All they do is pump out this they glorify gangsters and PIMPs, and now they've got them killing each other in record numbers. Like I'm sorry, they're unaliving each other in record numbers. But yeah, it's still out there. It's still there.
I'm going to let Viper respond to that one. Hey, Viper.
Hey, what's going on?
Oh,
Hey,
your
so
voice deep.
no,
I,
no,
I was surprised by that.
this is Do you TJ? Do you think that black people commit about 50% of the crime in this country?
No, no, not 50%,
Right.
but
So
quite a
it's
large
close to 50.
percentage for the
Close to
percentage
50.
of the population.
How about 45? What do you think?
How about I can't really give you the statistics on it, but I'm
No,
absolutely sure that for being what 18% of the population, like a
no,
lot of
no,
crime
no,
is
no,
committed
no,
for that small
no.
percentage.
So how much does the white population commit? What percent you think they commit of the crime?
Oh,
Even though what you said was wrong, I'm just gonna breeze past it. But how much
Over
percent do you
80.
think?
I would say more than half because they're more than half of the population.
Okay, all right. How many? What do you think is the exoneration rate for black people is once they get arrested and they figure out, oh fuck, these people didn't commit the crime. What do you think about the exoneration rate? What would you put it at? What percentage?
I don't know. I've been in trouble before. I've actually been up the road myself
No, I said black
when I
people
was
though.
younger, but
No,
it's
no, I
hard to
said
get
black.
out of the system once you're in it.
Okay, so 50%. Over it's actually over 50%, but I'm just gonna put it at 50%, right? So we were about, I think I want to say 38%. All right. But we're more police and all that shit, right? One of the things that the Kurt used to what he used to say that black people commit the most crime in this country. We're about 14, 13% of the population, not fucking 18 that like you just said. Right? So you might want to kind of go closer to the facts and not far away. And you have to do your research though, right? Because you don't mind him spreading misinformation about black people and saying we're the murderous kind and black women are not qualified to be doctors or black people are not, they don't he don't trust people that, when he see a pilot, he's like, well, I wonder if that person's qualified, right? You don't mind him saying all this shit. You think that this is cool. You know what? If he was talking about Jews, you'd have been on fire. You'd have poured gasoline on your drawers and set it on fire because nobody can touch that sacred cow. But they could talk about black people, trans people, and all these other groups. Yeah, at least they're not talking about us. That is the problem we have in this country. They talk about we are equal. We ain't equal. And TJ, you know this. I got one more question for you. I'm gonna show you how this country is, and you benefit from privilege so much you can't even see it because if you ever heard about the frog and the pot,
Well,
you
Viper,
understand that.
Viper, just to let you know, this is a Puerto Rican man that originally came up here defending Christian nationalism.
Oh wow.
Well, I think what he said,
Oh,
it wasn't so much
And
defending.
for the sake of what Christianity has done for our country and the
separation
way
of church and
we
state. Can you
react to each
separate church
other.
and state, please? Can you just separate church and state for me? I don't care about your damn religion. Your religion shouldn't justify or give you the ability to set laws. Because when I get in here and I use my religion to put on you, you damn sure won't like it. So how about we just set laws based on laws and not your religion? I think it's in the Constitution some
Viper,
damn way.
Viper, Viper. Can I say something?
Sure.
They don't like when laws are humanistic. So humanism is evil to them. So if we were just to have, things that were based in, a humanistic, point of view, they look at that as, oh, that's party to the Antichrist and the end world stuff. We can't have that going on. So anything that is outside of their Bible is suspect. And they have issues with so much stuff. It's just crazy. I mean, let's just go back to, being humans first. And they can't handle that because they don't even accept you as a human.
You know what, Earth?
And,
That
and
raise that raises a good question, and I just thought about this. Does the Bible demonstrate just laws that they could look at and be like, "Oh, that's what God meant. I should do this for my neighbor." I've never even really thought about it. Has Is there just laws that they could look at as an example? They look at all the legalistic stuff, but are there just laws that they could look at as an example or a pattern to know what to do?
I personally don't think so because it starts off on the wrong foot by claiming that there's such a thing as a chosen people. I don't believe that. Nothing anti Semitic or anything along that lines at all. I just believe that humans are humans and that there's no one better than any other. And, we shouldn't go around claiming that one religion has all the truth and that they're the chosen ones and loved of God and all that stuff, because that exclusivity really does not benefit humanity at all. We
Well,
we just
I know they've definitely been trained to seek personal piety over collective justice of the people, you know, and so they have a hard time imagining that, which is weird to me. They have a hard time imagining what dealing with systemic sin would mean. They don't understand, like, this is going to require reconciliation. This is going to require reparation. In order for you to do it the way that the Bible tells you to do your reconciliation, Jubilee is part of it. I mean, well, yeah, there are some just laws in the Bible. I
Jubilee
Jubilee
is
is one of them. Yes, you
yeah, that's
know.
a cool idea, but it's found in many you know um, other cultures under a different name, and
Well,
you
it ain't
know
found in Christianity. I'll tell you
it
that.
ain't it
I
ain't
got,
it
I
ain't
got, I got,
found in Christianity. That's the damn
I got a
truth.
question. I got a question for y'all. Who would Jesus, if Jesus had a vote, who would Jesus vote for?
Jimmy
Donald
Hats,
or Harris?
Harris. What do you think? Okay, just let you know, Viper. So Reconsider Church is like this is whenever he goes live, it's church, right? Like this is actual church whenever he goes live. And so just to let you know, like Reconsider is a Christian, Brandy's a Christian, Earth is not. But in my opinion, I would say Harris. What would you say, Reconsider?
Yeah, I can't imagine a vote for the Don. I'm trying to respond to, yeah, I would agree. A leftist message inscribed on the bulletin, former classmates.
That was proven not to be true. There's so
I
much
know.
misinformation going around.
I know. You know what was fascinating about it is in those first 24 hours when we knew nothing about the suspect, the rumors already started to swirl, didn't they? The first thing that came out was the Wall Street Journal. I think it was before we had even pictures of the suspect.
Well, even before that, the HBCUs started getting threats.
Yeah.
HBCUs. Can you name
Yeah.
one?
Hell, all those white bubbas already declared a civil war.
Well, I'm
I
just I'm
mean,
just
they were
saying. Well,
ready.
you can't say that up
They were
here.
locked and loaded.
You gotta say CW.
CW.
What did
Yeah,
I say? I'm sorry.
you said what it
CW.
actually stood for. But my question is, can you name
CW.
one black person that did a
Oh,
mass
okay.
pew pewing, or that did a mass pew pewing or a school pew pewing? Can you name one black person?
They did have that young man in Tennessee, but he said the reason why he did it was because he didn't like that he was African American and that he had been following Candace Owens and all of them, and he was having trouble with his racial identity because of
Okay, so he thought he was
following them.
white. That don't count.
And there was one other guy that I can remember that was going around DC in a van taking long distance shots.
Oh yeah, I remember him.
DC, yeah, Ipers,
Okay,
yeah.
so those two,
But other than that, no, absolutely not.
and every
There
single
was
other
no
one
part
have been.
there was no part of my brain when that happened that thought, yeah, this is one of the brothers. They took a long range shot at some. No, they don't do that.
Did you think it
Thank
was
you
a
for saying
Democrat?
that.
Yeah, because we don't.
TJ, do you think it was a Democrat though?
I think it was a confused kid that got radicalized
No,
into
no, no.
believing stuff that was the exact polar opposite of the radicalness that Charlie was.
But you probably thought it was a Democrat, right? You thought it was a leftist Antifa. You thought it was one of them types, right? Come on
BLM.
now,
I don't.
come
I
on.
Well,
did.
you know
Did,
I did. You know I
Can I,
did.
can I chime in? Whatevs, do you recall that the president? I mean, within an hour after the event that happened a few days ago, within an hour, uh, he he kind of gave credit to this to the radical left Democrats. Do you remember that? Before we knew anything about the suspect at the
anything.
time, we had absolutely no information, no picture, no nothing. But it was from his platform. He announced that it was a radical. This was a radical leftist person that did this.
And let me tell you a perspective. Let me tell
I
you a
saw the clip
perspective.
of it. Sorry.
I was just going to say the
Well, I want to
perspective.
know his answer to
Go
that.
ahead, whatever.
I saw the clip. We're talking about President Trump, right?
Yeah,
Okay. I saw the clip of it. I thought he blamed the media.
You blame Democrats.
yeah. He said it was a left, an extreme radical leftist Democrat, something like that. I think all of
Is
those
there a
words.
difference between extreme Democrats and the media?
Yes.
Come on now.
Come on, man.
No, you.
Come
I'm
on,
gonna.
man.
What else?
I
I'm
can't.
gonna. I'm gonna challenge you to use your own critical thinking and answer your own question. What do you think the difference is?
One calls himself the DNC and the other calls itself MSNBC.
So that's what Trump trained y'all
Wow.
See,
to
that's a
classify it
Fox
as.
News answer,
Exactly.
you know.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
conservative
we just heard that Fox News anchor get on TV, and nobody has fired him or anything, and basically said that maybe we should involuntarily unalive homeless, mentally ill people with
Hmm.
lethal
Lethal injection.
injections. And
He didn't. He didn't basically say
this
that. He straight up said
Oh,
that.
he
no,
straight
I
up
mean
said that.
he straight up said that. If I say basically, I didn't mean
Hey,
basically.
Brandy, get
Yes.
get your people then, because I'm pretty sure I saw that clip. That guy's a brother.
What do
Honey,
you
they
mean?
they 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 too busy over there. Listen.
What are you talking about? Get your people.
And
I
number
don't
one, it
understand.
wasn't a black person that said it.
No,
It
it
was the
was.
white dude that was on the other side of the couch. So
No,
let's
no,
get
no.
let's
The
let's
black
get
per
right.
the black dude said it too.
He
But
was saying stuff just as horrible, but it was the white dude
but
that
yeah,
said
it was
what
the
I just
Yeah.
white
said.
dude that
Yeah.
said that. So
Yeah,
let's get that straight.
he was saying stuff just as horrible, but the white dude was the one that said what I just quoted.
You see
Well,
what I mean? Reconsider when I say we don't claim people like that. That's why. If they want to identify or be so close to like they enjoy their white proximity. We don't claim them anymore.
Yeah, I like the picture that you put up sometimes, Princess, with that sign.
Yeah, we don't play that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think obviously there's people that are more qualified to talk about the politics stuff in them. I have watched more of Charlie Kirk's content than I would bet than anyone else because my concern is Christian nationalism, and that is because I am Christian, and specifically because I am YT male um, clergy. I feel an obligation. I feel a responsibility to sort of speak out against the dangers of Christian nationalism. It's not like it's something that's done a lot of good for this country and now it's fading away and what's going to replace it. It is something that has always been a detriment to our country, and it is, I think, as detrimental now as it's been in a very long time. So I think we just have to be very mindful. I've watched enough of him to know what clips whatevs gets and what clips we get. And because I know that those algorithms work that way, I watch his speeches in their entirety. And he,
Yeah, I never saw him say any of those things you guys told me.
I know you haven't, but if you watch a 60-minute or 90-minute lecture of his, it's a whole lot of Jesus, which may get a Christian to think, hey, this is good stuff. And then it's a whole lot of, we really need this country to be YT men, Christian dominated. And that I vehemently disagree with. And I think in the end, it will, as Christians, as a Christian myself, if you feel like the gospel of Christ is something you think is important enough to cling to, this will do tremendous damage to the gospel of Christ. The rise of Christian nationalism will do tremendous damage, I think, to the church and to the gospel of Christ. So I feel like an obligation, a responsibility to speak out against it. Because the reality is, it needs to be me, right? If people of color or women speak out against Christian nationalism, it's not going to be as received. I think we need folks that look like me that are in clergy positions to say, this, I'm standing, I want to speak out against this. This is why I'm here. Just so that however this goes, I will feel like I did something, which I know sounds selfish, but
Ryan, can I ask you,
yeah, go ahead.
do you feel like you're late to the party?
That's a good question. I'm sure I am. There was people that I apologized to at the beginning. I didn't have social media until a year ago, and there's a whole story behind that. I worked as a hospice chaplain, and some of you already know that. I got social media a year ago, and as soon as I did, I kind of decided I will use whatever platform I have to at least speak out against this. And yes, there were other YT male pastors that were already on here speaking out against it, and I said to them, I apologize that I'm late to the party, but I'm here and I'm ready to do whatever I can. I didn't have social media because of my personality. I know myself well enough to know that I will spend too much time on these apps and it will take away from my family and from my life.
Well, even before there was social media and the internet and everything else, I mean, I had already left Christianity, years and years ago, but I still have Christian friends. There was family before they became Trumpers, and I always, when I got into conversations with Christians, would say, "Boy, you need to read Bishop Spong's book. Why Christianity must change or it will unalive," and tried to point them in the ways of seeing that their Christianity way back in the 80s when I was, in my 20s, and said, y'all's Christianity is pretty rotten to the core and hypocritical, if not damn harmful to most of humanity. And y'all don't care because, you're saved and, you're going to be looking down at the people in hell from heaven and all that good stuff. And it really wasn't the message that I knew from when I was a Christian. And, it was very different. And I think that's, it's hard because, like, I've got this friend that is, my dear friend that's the only friend I really, communicate with that much in real life and, not on social media and things. And she's hardcore atheist. And I told her what I was doing, coming and talking with y'all, and that I'm trying to relearn how to talk with Christians again because of it turned into this Christian nationalist mess that we have. And
You're doing a great job, Earth.
I
well,
enjoy your conversation.
thank you very much. I appreciate that. But what I'm pointing at is I saw it so long ago, and I've been screaming this for so long. I'm out of breath about it. And my dear friend that's the atheist, she, she won't have nothing to do with Christians if she can help it, just because they are so disgusting to her.
Earth, can I speak to that?
Yeah.
So I was saved in the Southern Baptist Church, okay? And I was 15, 16. And then I was in a youth group. And then I was like, well, I'll go to North Greenville because then I'll be around a whole bunch of other like minded Christian people. And so I went to North Greenville. And then I started having some like dissonance. I was like, okay, this isn't what I thought. Like I was started hearing like more theological, like, debating, hearing different terms I had never heard before, but also seeing the attitudes that came with some of that Theo bro kind of style. And then sitting in their classes and listening how they talk and how they justify patriarchy. I was like, this is a little off. But then I'm going to tell you what really did it for me. It was the racial part. I became the president of our Black Student Fellowship. They changed it because they felt as if the name wasn't inclusive. And then everything that we did was heavily monitored. Black people, we have our own style. We come from different kind of churches and we just vibe differently. We weren't allowed to vibe. We had to do what they said. It was just they were just constantly on us. And then there was just like uh microaggressions all of the time. When February rolled around, we had Black History Month, and that was the only time they let black preachers come and preach. But then afterwards, I had to sit and listen to the Theo bros pick them apart. And I knew that they weren't just picking their theology just to pick their theology. They were picking their theology because they find their style, the way they do church, better than black people. And it was just always just a constant thing. And I just got to the point where I was like, I can't do this. I was on staff at a Southern Baptist church. They would not let me change anything.
I
And
think
it wasn't even it was it was when they came by the office, then I started seeing that person more. Them telling me what to do. So I think that people wake up at different times because number one, you're trained to be quiet, especially if you're black. You don't want to rock the boat because you know that it messes with your opportunities to become a pastor. It messes with your resume because what they're going to do is they're going to label you as one of those guys. Like it just and then it's almost like they have to wear you down for you to leave.
Don't
And
rock the boat is the white
yes,
well, I
man's
think
way.
Viper had his hand up in the comments.
go ahead, Viper.
Thanks, Princess. I don't even know where I saw that.
Viper.
He might be talking
Well,
and forgot to unmute.
you're on mute, Viper. Yeah, there you
No,
go.
no, it was mute. It was muted. I don't know. Sometimes TikTok be TikToking. But I got a question. Was y'all on the prayer call with the governor about him not wanting to be one of them?
Definitely was
Yeah,
not.
we talked about that a little bit ago, but not at length.
33 full hours.
He said it out loud, and everybody heard it. We know they were thinking it, but he said it out loud.
What do you think
Because
about that? What else? Yeah, go ahead, Viper. I want to know what he thinks about that after you're done.
Yeah, you can take it. Yeah.
Well, first off, are we all just going to pass right over the fact that Reconsider Church didn't have social media till a year ago when I had a freaking MySpace at like 18?
Oh my God, same.
Um,
I,
Viper. Could you go into more detail because either I didn't see it or I just don't know what we're talking about.
The governor said that he prayed for 33 hours, that he wasn't one of them. He was hoping it was somebody from another country, somebody from another state, i.e., he's hoping it was an immigrant, a
Wait,
black
did he
person.
really? He said that out loud?
Yep.
oh my God, he had a news conference about it and said it can't be one of us white
Oh,
Mormon boys.
I gotta go find that.
Uh, there's plenty of memes about it by now.
Hey, so what else? Do you change your stance now on defending white nationalism, Christian white nationalism?
Okay, I I totally run directly away from Christian nationalism the way that I now understand that you guys perceive it, but I'm gonna slowly back away from the fact that Christian principles created a society that wound up, uh, being the most diverse, the most loving, the most forgiving, and I know the things that we do globally. And of course, I don't agree with everything that our government does, and shoot, there's just so much I could say that I hate. But for the most part, I feel like Christianity, in and of itself, has helped the United States.
Well,
When do you think it was at its peak? Like the when do you think Christianity was so influential for the good for the country that when were its best years?
They were. I don't think they were in this country. I
what?
think. I think Christianity's best years were probably the Crusades.
What?
Oh
You
my
just
God.
contradicted yourself, bro.
All right, wait a minute, wait a minute. Let me just speak to this. Let me speak to
Is he
this.
trolling us now?
I
Is
Yeah,
think
this
so.
yeah.
okay?
I
You
just threw a
know,
firecracker in the room. My bad.
you know,
I was gonna go with
I
Spanish
made it,
Inquisition, but you would have called BS right away.
I made a post today that said when you mix, you give, power and you back it with your religion, that's what you get. You get Urban II, who started, the first crusade, and you get Thomas Torquemad, that, was the Grand Inquisition dude from, the Inquisition days. And that, most people do not realize the Inquisition did not end until 1889 or somewhere around there, where it was finally, you know, officially ended by the Catholic Church. That in itself, when I personally look at Christianity, I say, well, y'all had 2,000 years to get this shit right, and y'all ain't got it right yet. So, it's time to step aside and let some of the, native cultures take the lead. Somebody, anybody but the three big ones, which are
I think
Judaism, the
Brandy was
Muslims,
uh, okay.
and
If that's
Christians.
true, Earth, then I think Brandy was absolutely right with her assumption that most of us cannot even picture a world like that. Like, which is why my question was, okay, if we
Can't
remove
picture a world
the
like what?
laws of Moses, if we remove Christianity, what would we replace it with? And most of us, like Brandy said, we can't even picture a world without.
Because you didn't know history. There was a Hammurabi that had Hammurabi's laws. The Egyptians, they had all the things that Christianity was built on and Judaism was built on come from Egypt. I mean, that's why y'all take it out of Egypt. But if you go back and you look at what they actually had, basically, that's where a lot of your stuff comes from. Down to the Cain and Abel story is even an Egyptian story. So, there was many, many things to go back to, and the world would have been just wonderful without the Abrahamic religions. It just wouldn't be what it is, which is the capitalistic world that we have now.
Hey, Viper.
Also,
Even if
So a
Yes.
warring one
Real quick
Okay,
because
you
before,
gotta go, Viper.
real quick,
Islam is an Abrahamic
Hold on,
religion.
hang on a
whatever.
second. Hang on a second before Viper drops. I just wanted to thank him for coming up. Hey, Viper, I would love to hear at some point you explain kind of the 13% of the population and percentage of crimes or violent crimes or however. I would love to hear your
Well,
explanation of that at some point.
so I'll give you a mini preview. So we have 30%, 13% of the population, around 13% of population that is black, right? And then they usually say this number. They usually say 1350. And the explanation they're giving you is 13% of the population commit 50% of the crime. What they don't understand with the 50%, that's the exoneration rate. The actual rate of when it comes to white folks committing crime and black folks committing crime, black folks is about 37%, white folks is about 67%, right? But they use the 1350 to confuse people with numbers and statistics, saying 30% commit 50% of the crime, which don't make no sense because how many black people in Utah? In the whole state. I'm trying not to curse because it's ridiculous, right?
Mhm.
And so if you're telling us we're just running around here unaliving people like crazy, 13% of us of the whole United States of 300 and some odd 29 whatever million, right? 13% of us come on now, but it is a thing they say over and over and over, and if you repeat it people start thinking it's true. Just like some of the things they say, if you think about Obama when it comes to immigration, they say Obama is the deporter in chief, and that is a whole lie. Obama only deported what, 5 million people? 5 million.
And didn't he start with the prisons?
He did it the proper way. Clinton deported about, say, if my memory serves me right, 12 million. Clinton is the deporter in chief, right? But they put that thing. It's like when he asked for his birth certificate. These are the things they do to certain type of groups of people, and it's easy because when you demonize people, you could do anything to them. Just like with immigrants, if you demonize them and if you say, "Hey, they're criminals," and look, they're taking this white little girl and they're unaliving her or they're raping her, it's easy now to say, "You know what? Let's throw them in Alcatraz. Let's deport them to a country they never came from. Let's do all these bad things to them. It won't be nothing for the general population. It will be acceptable if we get rid of the most crass folks that are doing this so much damage to us."
It
When
makes it easier
it
to digest.
Yes, because look at what happened in this situation. They're blaming Democrats before they even know any of the facts. And you're going to tell me that a young guy that his dad is a sheriff, they grew up around two A's. You could see him when he was younger having two. He in a Mormon state, which he's probably either Christian or Mormon, right? You're telling me, and he follows Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes is not liberal. He's not Democrat. Matter of fact, Nick Fuentes hated Charlie Kirk,
Hmm.
right? And so they wanted to convince everybody it was a Democrat, and that's why my guy was praying so hard for 33 hours that he wasn't one of them. While we all know, well, most of us know that it wasn't one of us.
All right now.
You know what I'm saying? So, but they do these things, and they because a lot of people are not in the know of all these stuff, right? And they hope people don't educate themselves. They don't want y'all to go to college. They don't want to pay off them loans. They don't want to encourage people to get a higher education because if you're now smart, they can't trick you.
Hmm.
Hmm.
It's the LBJ effect.
It's amazing
Black
to me
people are
to
not.
yeah.
No, no, and black people don't want. We're not saying, "Oh, let's put you guys back in chain at least for 1 year." Imagine if I walked around saying, "Hey, to be even, if you don't want to give us reparation, let's put white people in chains for 1 year. Let's have 1 year of slavery, and let's call it evil for the 200 plus years." How about we do?
Joe, I
I'm
would take that deal tomorrow if
no, you won't.
everybody would shut up about it.
No, you won't. And when has this country addressed? When has this country?
Stop
I mean,
laughing,
that's
princess.
He
Wait a
laughed that
minute.
off. He laughed that off
What
so smooth.
what what ifs? if everybody would shut up about it, that was
Just
sort of,
get
I don't
over it.
know.
Get over it. Get over it. Just get over slavery and all this racism. Get over it. It's gone. It's
I'm gonna tell
that.
you right
And
now,
so,
I ain't never getting over slavery, and I don't care what
but
they say. This nation needs to be held accountable, point blank, period.
Brandon,
Listen,
everybody else got theirs though, right?
my
Everybody else
an,
got their.
my
The slave masters
ancestors
got paid.
definitely were slave owners,
They got their
and
plantations back.
and they. I mean, I've done genealogy too much,
Can
and
real quick, can Viper just finish
I've
because
seen the
he got the drop,
records.
y'all.
Yeah, but
Oh, sorry,
I mean,
Viper.
this could get all type of but it's these conversations we have to have, and I've heard people say, let's if we just stop talking about it, it'll go away, and that's a little ridiculous. It's like me telling somebody who's a Jew, let's not talk about when they put you guys in that hot stuff, and
Hmm.
everything will be bad. You could never. That's one group of people ain't nobody gonna talk bad about, right? Imagine Charlie Kirk was running around here talking bad about the Jews and saying this stuff that he said about black people about the Jews. He wouldn't have probably been around, right? But it's
Hmm.
okay to talk about black people, people who are gay, LGBTQ, trans, and all that stuff. It's okay. Demonize them. It's okay. But we have to treat people like people. Somebody said it. How about we treat people like people? I don't if you're not even a Christian, you treat that person the same you would treat a Christian. If you like the same sex, you treat that person the same, even if they don't believe in your religion or how you would live your life, treat them like a person. Because what would Jesus do? I thought he was washing feet. I thought he was
Hello.
talking to the least of us, the people who are in the street, the 304s in the streets. Like, come on,
Mm-hmm.
do you read the Bible you claim you read?
You
And
better
I'm not
preach, Viper.
listen. I'm gonna go off. I'm gonna go before But I'm saying let's treat people like people. It's a basic concept. It's not complicated, right? And slavery. This country has never dealt with slavery. So how can we get over? You want to traumatize a group of people and their descendants, and you still benefit, and your folks benefit from it, and but we still can't talk about. We can't even talk about it.
Who
And
got the offering plate?
I'm just saying. But I'll catch y'all. I'll catch y'all later because
Viper,
it's
thank you.
interesting, But I'll leave one more thing on the table before I go. I kind of understand because I usually ask this question. TJ, can you tell me one law or a policy that was created that gave you rights you never? If you're a white TJ, if you claim to be, I'm using that. Can you give me one
I'm
law?
not white, but I was
No,
raised
no.
pretty much white.
Right, right. But I'm giving you this question to give you an idea of how to kind of look at things differently. If you're white, can you tell me a law that gives white men rights they never had?
Um, n- no, I absolutely cannot tell you, like on a serious level.
No, 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 no. That's
Like,
okay
That's a
because
good question.
but this is the thing, TJ. There is no law on the books or policies that give white men rights they never had. Everybody
Well,
else had to
I
get
can
rights
say
they never
that
had.
they give me as a gay white man the privilege to marry.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the only one I know.
Yes.
but it's not because you're white though. It's just because you're gay. But what I'm saying is, if white men never had to get rights they never had, and everybody else had to get rights, amendments, all these things, what is the inverse of that? That means they have all the right. They don't need to get any rights they never because they have all the rights. They're it's it, this is the country we live in where white men didn't
That
have
is
to
such a
or
good question.
It
but
is.
Ooh-wee.
It
I'm gonna
is
go. I'm gonna
because
go because
it shows that the system was built this way from the very
Ooh,
beginning.
we ask it again so I can write that down. I'm gonna ask that question out loud.
Yes. Yes, Viper.
Ask that question again, Viper.
if what name me one law or policy that gives white men rights they never had.
And think about it. We don't why do we have to keep begging for stuff? Like this stuff should already we should have it. We shouldn't have to beg for it. If
But
we're
Brandy,
begging for it, that means that everybody doesn't have the same rights.
but Brandy, listen, look, put yourself in their shoes though. if you're a white man and you see everybody getting rights, you're getting this over here. What the? They're getting that. What? How the heck? Why are they getting all this stuff? That's the fee. Can you
Mm-hmm.
imagine that?
Right.
They're getting this. It's DEI. They're just getting stuff because they don't know that part of it. If they didn't put themselves in the other shoes,
But now
they
they're
know
being colonized
that
They
inside of
don't
their
realize
own
the rights that
country.
they don't realize the rights that they've always had.
hey, but I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. Hey, I appreciate y'all. I'll catch y'all.
Not him. Not look.
On
And Brandy,
Viper.
you know what I'm talking about when I say this. Not
Hey,
not Viper leaving with the number, like, holding his finger up in
Hold his
church.
finger up.
I'm sitting here searching my brain for something, and I got
Woo.
nothing.
My God.
all
Viper,
right.
thank you
Y'all
so
have a good
much.
night, though.
Thank you
Good
so much
night,
for
No,
sir.
coming.
Good night, Viper.
I appreciate it, Viper. Thank
no,
you.
no
Nice to
worries. No
meet you.
worries. Have a good one.
Whatevs. I just want to say I really do appreciate your honesty so far.
Yeah, this been great.
Well, yeah, I mean, what? I'm gonna lie to a bunch of strangers on TikTok.
You
You
would be
know,
surprised.
it's not like you're my supervisor at work, whom
You'll
I
be
lie to all
surprised.
the time.
Thank you for coming in. I am gonna follow
Yeah.
Viper because, as Princess said at the beginning, I'm getting old.
Yeah, man. Time to go to bed.
Time to go to bed. But I can't thank you guys enough. Princess, thank you. Brandy, TJ, whatevs,
This
Earth.
was a great live tonight, Ryan.
Well, thanks for having me, y'all.
Yes.
We'll
It
Thank
was
keep
good
at
you.
to
it.
meet you too, whatevs.
I followed Reconsider Church, so I'll see you guys next time.
Yay.
Follow the others if you'd like. They are smarter than I am.
I
We'll be
know
happy to have you,
they
man.
usually have like little plus signs on their image there, but there is none right now.
If you click on the name, you can still follow.
Well, hold on. Earth had one. I got Earth. Anyway, all right.
I appreciate you.
Um,
Whatevs.
yeah, if you guys request me, I'll follow back.
All
Nope, I'll
right.
follow
I'll
you.
see y'all next time. Thanks for the chat.
Bye,
Mm-hmm.
guys.
It's
Thank
been
you all. Good
great
night.
as always. Y'all are always fun.
Y'all, my
Good night.
people.
Good
Good
to see you
night.
folks. See you.